Sorry about that. Had a mic muted. But yeah, it was. We were just saying it was a very tough game for Korean Army there because Siberian knew exactly what he wanted to do there. He went right up to the cutoff with his Flamer half track, and he had a very tough time of it. But luckily, of course, this is a best of three on the wonderful summer battlefield of Kholodny Ferma, and so we're gonna get a chance to see now Korean Army's attempt at pulling off the same thing, hopefully. I mean, maybe he'll try and pull off the same thing. Maybe he'll go for something different. But I'm interested to see. So I think I'm going to load up the replay, and we're going to take a look to see what these guys can bring to the table, and particularly what Korean Army can bring to the table with his Ostia.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fascinating. I'm going to be really interested to see how the traditional VCO players kind of adapt to the new game. I think we're going to see a lot of attempts to implement classic T2 strategies, maybe like some Say No to Stim T2 Terror. Obviously you don't get a King Tiger, but you know what I'm saying. I think there's a big temptation to kind of go with what you know here.
Yeah, I think because the game is just so new, people haven't had that long to get used to it. The new strategies are still just evolving, but it was really illuminating to talk to some of the Relic Balance devs and see the kind of thing that they're talking about. They're talking about stuff like back-teching a lot, and like the way that German buildings are so cheap, and that's to allow you to back-tech, so you can do a quick tech to tier 2 and then go back to tier 1, and I don't know, loads of cool stuff. But I'm really excited to see what these guys do here. So if we're both at the 5-second mark, I think we should jump right into this. I'm going to be following Korean Army for this game, and let's go in. So in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
So let's hope that Korean has a better start than he did in the last one.
He's going to be a little shaken after that. I can imagine he's going to be, feeling, whoa, who's this Siberian guy? I've never heard of this guy before. And he's coming along and he's shaking shit up.
I don't know. I think Korean's problem was as much himself as the opposition. When you realise that cap order's gone completely wrong and you've been cut off for the first 2 minutes of the game.
Yeah, that was
psychologically
sloppy.
That puts you on the back foot.
That was very sloppy, and that just sort of sings to me. Oh, I haven't really played this map too much. But in fairness, these maps only really joined the rotation last week, so they are very new. The version of Kholodny Ferma that people are far more used to is the winter version. That's the one that the people have been playing most. I mean, that was in since the very early alpha, and it was that was the 1v1 map that all the competitive players said, oh yes, that's the one that we want to see in the tournaments. But of course,
no, Tommy,
we had a...
correct me if I'm wrong, but for a minute I thought Siberian was about to follow the same capping order again.
Siberian is... Well, Korean, he's doing something pretty similar, although he's not making the mistake of going for that strategic point down by the right-hand side this time. He's going to take that also crucial one up in the north, just below the VP, so he is going to get connected.
I think this time he's like, yeah, I'm going to hang on to this one, I want this one.
So yeah, it's kind of important to connect my fuel, so I'm going to do that this time.
And you get the feeling that those cut-off points are going to be fairly central, but that one that in has seems a lot further away from his base than the corresponding one on Siberian side.
It is, yeah. I think that's one of the things that has been brought up. If you go to kotu.org, there's some world builder forums there, and some of the experienced map makers, community map makers, have pointed out, you got to watch out, because if it's much easier to pin from one side rather than the other, then it could present a balance issue there.
Yeah, I think time will tell. We really need to get the community into these maps and grind through a few thousand matches, and then we'll know.
Well, exactly, and hopefully this will be a good starting point for that, because although of course we've had today we've had a whole bunch of great matches, it's tomorrow where we're going to see players like Aimstrong and Symbiosis lock horns along with the Relic Balance devs. I mean, I am so excited to see that.
It's going to be a great event. Very close range punching match going down here. Siberian's guys are on one side of the truck, Korean's Grenadiers on the other. Ooh, nice Molotov there. Forcing them out of colour, forcing them into the red cover, but
it's not enough.
Man, yeah, one squad versus two squads is a simple maths. He did well to inflict the damage, but at the end of the day, that wasn't a fight he was going to be able to win.
No, maybe it's part of a bigger strategy, though. I mean, we saw this kind of play in who is it? Symbiosis was really the sort of the main proponent of this style of play, where you use your early game. Well, he uses early game rifles as sort of damage sponges, just to gain as much territory as possible. And Siberian is taking a lot of territory. He does have Korean Army kind of pinned into this little sort of quarter of the map here, and he's using these conscripts to sort of drag grenadiers away. He's not really trying to engage in any meaningful fights. He certainly must know that he's not going to be able to win these engagements.
Yeah, and it seems to be working. Korean's definitely kind of pinned back into that kind of 1/3 southern part of the map.
Although one conscript squad does find themselves in a good position, but MG42 is out from Korean Army, sets up on the road. But there's a nice Molotov there.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Korean's going to find himself very comfortable with the MG42. That's like your bread and butter VCO play. I'm expecting to see him moving and scooting and shooting, keeping that thing working, and generally finding effective use from it.
Well, it's harder now, isn't it? Because you don't have the MG bite combo anymore. You don't have that light scouting unit. So using the MG42 can be a lot tougher. You've got to really sort of predict where your opponent's coming from, as much as be able to actually calculate and see him.
Interestingly enough, Siberian's built himself second engineer. I'm assuming that means he wants to leave his first engineer set in the field while he deals with some base buildings now. It's good to see that Korean's not been slow on the tech this time either. He's got his infantry company up and was not going to be caught napping, let's hope.
Well, he is teching Tier 2 right now, so he's going to be building that Tier 2 building, hopefully fairly soon. He is right on top of the manpower as well. He is, you know, not floating any resources, keeping very on top of things in that regard. Interesting kind of build order he's gone for here as well. I mean, you mentioned the MG42 before, but it looks like Korean Army's favouring the Grenadiers more than anything, because he's got 4 of them, and just a single MG.
Yeah, it's an interesting squad balance. I'm going to be really interested to see what Siberian does about this. Gren Heavy. Well, we have the M3 Scout Car, half-track, whatever you want to call it, on the way. So you have to assume there's going to be some clown car action coming up soon.
Some clown car action, excellent. That's what we want to see. I mean, it's going to, you know, those things... In one way, they can counter Grenadiers really well, because a Flamer in that is going to do a lot of damage. But on the other hand, you've also got to watch out for Panzerfaust, because one Panzerfaust is going to take down an M3 to about 5% health with a destroyed engine. So it's a balancing act that comes down to micro more than anything else.
Yeah, and I found that with my very limited micro skills, I can't seem to avoid my M3s taking Panzerfaust to the face. It seems like the Panzerfaust mechanic is very different now. It's much more like a sticky. If it kind of locks, it's going to go in. You know? Yeah,
you can't back out of it anymore, which has received sort of mixed opinions from people. But on the other hand, it is balanced by the fact that that it has a much shorter range than before. So you do have to be quite close before it actually locks on.
Well, Korean's backpedaling quite heavily from the M3 there. He doesn't want to get tangled up too close.
No, and rightly so.
Like
I mean,
forming a defensive line here.
It's worth being afraid of. He's coming right into his rear now, but with no real support. I don't know what he's doing. He's got a Flamer in there, so he is going down the clown car route, but he's sort of keeping at arm's distance away.
But he's really soaking up damage from those Grenadiers. He's already got the M3 at half health.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of small arms fire.
Infantry support finally arrives, but in the form of a single unupgraded conscript squad, you have to wonder about how effective they're going to be. And now the MG's coming in as well. He's going to need to be careful here.
Yeah, he could get this conscript squad pinned, which would be a real blow. But here we go. Here's the counter now. We have the 221 scout car. The Axis scout car has now arrived. This thing is very potent anti-infantry when it's unupgraded. When it's upgraded, it's a very potent anti-vehicle, and it is the prime counter to the M3 scout car.
I get the feeling that Korean's been a little bit conservative over there. He held it back. There was enough time for the M3 to get a good bit of repair on it. And again, he's not engaging. There's nothing on that end that's really... Maybe AT grenades, I don't know. You know, there's no threat to his scout car right now. He should be pushing, more aggression.
I think he is just afraid of those 18-8s, you know. I think that's what he is scared of, because they can be so crippling to something with so low health, like the Axis scout car.
And you really need some kind of grenade or something here. I mean, those concepts are dug in.
Yeah, they are not going anywhere. With that hit the dirt and green cover combined, they're not budging at all. I mean, they're not even taking any damage right there.
Gotta say, I'm very impressed with Siberian's conservativeness with the M3. He's holding it way back, he's not taking too many risks, and he's just gradually sort of attritioning in a little bit of damage. Look at that scout car, it's gone right down as well for repairs, and this is a chance for the M3 now. If he's conservative and careful, he could completely win this engagement.
Oh, and a Pioneer went down up here in the north. That's the first blood drawn from Korean Army. A whole Pioneer squad lost. Nice little bit of vaulting there as well. The conscripts did grab that VP up in the north. This conscript squad down in the south still with hit the dirt there, and they probably could have lasted a little longer, but yeah, I think they had to move for the rifle grenade.
Yeah, it was a well-timed dodge. And the M3 is pulling back as well now. He's lost his support. Or is he? He's like, no, maybe I'll go back and another.
Yeah, he could get greedy, maybe.
And there's no 18As there, so there's no reason not to rush in with the scout car now.
Another conscript squad here in the south, decapping this munitions point, but here come the Panzer Grenadiers. These guys are very, very tough. And a good counter to hit the dirt as well. With their bundle grenades.
Really liking this M3 play. Dashes
in, bundle at close range does a load of damage, kills 5 conscripts.
But yeah, that's really nice M3 again. He dashes in, gives him a quick lick, and then gets out. But that scout car's quite near him now. He's going to need to watch out.
No, it's really good M3 micro. You're right. I mean, he's kept it alive a lot longer than most M3s you see. A lot of M3s, they rush in, they get fausted, they die. The Soviet player builds another one, and then he keeps on going until he runs out of resources or his opponent gives up. So it's really refreshing to see this scout car being kept alive and used as such a great little harassment, annoying vehicle.
Yeah, and the Korean's just far too conservative for my taste with that armoured, scout car of his own.
Especially now he's got it outgunned.
Yeah, exactly. Should have been straight up there in the M3's grill, giving it the good news. And all these shenanigans have meant that Siberian has got himself a healthy lead on the VP. He's already ticked Korean down to 350 nearly.
Notice on the minimap I can see a sniper creeping up now as well. So that seems quite reactionary from Siberian to get a sniper because he's seen the Panzer Grenadiers, so he built a sniper. And why not? Because as we were talking about last cast, 45 manpower per shot, there's really no reason not to get one. Although, he's on negative cover, getting chased down by an armoured car.
That's bad.
Whoa, that was a short-lived sniper. Just as I was singing his praises about good micro, and he allows it to get shot down on a negative road.
Yeah, I mean, it was finally Korean started to be aggressive with that scout car, and that aggression paid off. Damaged engine now, though, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, he took a bit of a wrong turn there, driving down the road in the south. If he eats another 18
damage. I mean, they're just going to chew it up and kill it. Stay with it, but it seemed like... Oh no, there we go, another nade.
Is he gonna live? There's no real support nearby.
No, he's done for there. That chase is too good.
The conscript squad even gets a met too as it retreats, and there we go, out of control. Goodbye, armoured car. And here comes the M3 now, rushing in because he knows he's free and clear.
Yeah. And he actually should be behind that MG and hosing them all down. It's really interesting. Oh, big grenade goes on the conscript squad by the Panzer IV Hulk. And yeah.
Whoa! Polished off. Punished there for his use of hit the dirt there. So aggressive.
And Korean seems to have had a good few minutes with the scout car snafu aside. He's killed that sniper, he's wiped out the squad there, he's expanded his territory a little bit. If you can just kind of hold on to this, keep pushing, you know, he can get his way back into this a little bit.
Oh, the scout car is abandoned.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Engineers bailed out, but they're going to be forced to retreat as well, so maybe Korean Army can replace his lost armoured car with a scout car of his own.
Yeah,
give it a little payback.
He has. He's going to want to get his pyres up there and give it a bit of repair attention. But, yeah, nice capture there.
Yeah, that's a nice little win. But I mean, look at the VPs. The position that Siberian has been in all game has been one of complete and utter dominance.
Okay, now this is a bit foolhardy. He's throwing that exceptionally low health scout car straight back in to chase down the sniper.
Bit of sniper rage kicking in, I think. What do you think? Sniper rage?
Yeah. And now here comes Ura from the conscripts, and yeah, all they need to do is get in range for that 18 aid, and that scout car's had it. And yeah, talk about fights you can't win. Those grenadiers are sent packing home.
Oh, even get a sniping retreat, and he finishes it off on retreat. A whole PG down. Oh boy, Korean Army, I feel for you. It's just not going your way today.
Another sniper squad built by Siberian. Maybe a little bit of lightweight sniper spam here.
Possibly, possibly. 2 snipers, but maybe he's going to be punished for this because Korean Army hasn't been sitting idly by. He's actually been teching. He's teched all the way to tier 3, and his P4 is almost done.
Wow, that P4 is going to have such big impact. Because yeah, the 18 nades are going to slow it down, but there's nothing in there to finish the job. Siberian needs to get himself some guards or something else.
I think he's got to go down the SU-85 route or the ATG route. That's really the only 2 ways you can reliably counter P4s. I mean, guards will tangle with them for a little bit, but you don't want to rely on them for sure.
An interesting doctrinal choice from Siberian. He's got the rapid conscript ability available. It'll be really interesting to see if he is able to use that.
Up close and personal with these hit the dirt conscripts. Everyone's taking a lot of damage. Vet 3 squad now.
Yeah, it seems like hit the dirt doesn't require much subtlety. It's Molotov as well.
It's not subtle. No, it's definitely a case of just well, you dive into the ground, dig yourself a little hole, and you become a hell of a lot harder to kill. But I think, you know, Siberian is putting it to good use, and hey, you know, here's a player who's out to win. There's $1,000 on the tournament here for the top prize, for those of you who don't know, so it's all to play for.
So I'll be really interested to see what Korean can do with this Panzer IV now. I mean, this is a major
hopefully.
impact unit.
He needs to do a lot of legwork, but there's room for it to maneuver.
And yeah, still okay. What's going up there? So that's the mechanized armor company. No,
Whoa.
he stopped building it.
What is he doing? He's having fireworks in his base.
Yeah, no, changed
He's
his
just.
mind and changed
Oh
his mind again.
no, was that a misclick maybe? Oh, he's going to be kicking himself for that one. That's going to delay his tier 3 building by a whole other minute. Just as it was on the cusp of getting built. So it does look like he's going down. I said he's going to go either down the SU-85 route or down the AT gun route. He chose SU-85s, probably a good bet. SU-85s will absolutely mince a P4, whereas the ATG, bit more conservative, bit of a safer route.
If you think about it, the SU-85 is kind of like a toughened up Marder. It's got that exceptional long range, but it can survive a little bit more of a pasty.
Yeah, I mean the armor on the front is not half bad. But yeah, I mean it's a strong gun, and it's very, very strong, and it's got that great range.
And here's where I want to see aggression from this P4. He needs to be pushing now. He's been very passive in the 60 seconds or so he's been on the field. You know, it's impact, impact, impact. Got to get them kills. Got to make that attrition. Got to make your opponent pay.
You're not wrong there. You've only got a small window of time before your opponent gets his counters out. Right now, what does Siberian have in terms of counters? He's got nothing. He's just got 18 aids.
Yeah, as this P4 could be having an absolute field day. You can see these conscripts charging in for the nade now, but they're forced off the 2 sniper squads. 2 sniper squads, that's actually, look at that, squad goes down. Got to be so careful with those bad boys on the field.
Oh, that was a cheeky little move there. That was a nice move. Korean Army launched a rifle nade over the hedge to try and hit the snipers on retreat. He actually got one of the scout, of the spotter guys, but didn't manage to finish either of them off. That was a cute little move. It was the right choice.
Yep, and those 2-man sniper squads are probably giving him proper sniper raid right now.
Well, you know what he's done? He's gone and built himself a German sniper. He's running around in the undergrowth around this church here in the center. He's he's in cover and therefore cloaked. And he can move between cover while cloaked as well.
And yeah, he's going to try and start cross-attritioning the Russians. Now, interesting concept. Armor snipers as effective because he's going to be sniping conscripts and engineers. These are not expensive guys to replace.
They're not, but then again, the German sniper does fire extremely quickly, and he does have a longer range than the Soviet ones. So theoretically, he can remain relatively safe and get more kills sort of per second. So even though those kills aren't worth as much, you can make up for it by just the sheer frequency of them.
Well, here comes the Su-85 finally. About time we had a decent hard counter here. Meanwhile, that Panzer IV has been really doing a number on pretty much everybody he meets.
Yeah, he's done a good job of staying out of trouble, not taking too much damage or any sort of damaged engine shenanigans.
And yeah, it seems the PH submachine gun upgrades are available. Very, very popular choice with Russian players, increasing the combat effectiveness of their conscript squads.
And you can't really blame them because, you know, conscripts are an integral part of your army, no matter what kind of strategy you're doing, whether you're spamming conscripts or whether you're just getting a few of them and then scout cars. They're always going to be useful because they are your mainline infantry. Oh, look at that. Big smoke canister used here by KoreanArmy.
Yeah, it seems that smoke is going to be something we're hopefully going to see a lot more of. Finally, the Panzer IV's got himself a buddy. And, yeah, now with the true sight mechanism in place, smoke's going to become that much more important.
Well, yeah, smoke with true sight is really interesting because it actually totally blocks your line of sight through it. There is no way to see through when there is smoke in the way. So you've either got to go through the smoke, or you can try and attack ground through the smoke, which is something I've done, and you can sort of hit tanks like that, but it's risky.
Interesting choice from Korean there, MG Bunker on the southerly VP.
I think he's just a bit keen about the fact that he has gone down to 240 VP, so he doesn't really want to lose any more at this stage in the game.
No, it's a pretty good choice. It's going to be not necessarily hard, but definitely something that Siberian will need to consciously counter if he's going to get around. He needs to either get a tank down there or get some indirect fire going. Okay, sniper battles approaching. The snipers are coming within range of each other now.
Oh, is this going to be a counter snipe? He's in range. No, he's in range here again. He's going to go for it. Did he just miss?
It looked like it.
I think he missed. I think he hit the carcass. Oh, that's got to be so frustrating to line up the counter snipe and to miss. And I think Siberian actually heard the shot because he's now playing very conservative with those snipers, leaving him all the way back there behind the shack.
And yeah, if you think about all those thousands of hours of sniper micro that Vico built up, that's definitely something in his arsenal that Korean can leverage here.
Well, yeah, you know, in terms of the sniper play, is he going to be able to win it back with his use of snipers?
And yeah, it seems that Siberian's gone very conservative. The sniper's gone statically. He has got one standing out of cover, so he's just standing there hanging out visible. And that's asking for trouble.
Now here's an interesting tip. I heard, when a lot of people were complaining about hit the dirt, one popular counter I heard was, well, if you're late into the game and you have tanks, then you can just roll right over them. Because you know, as soon as they hit the dirt, they can't actually break out of it for a few seconds. They're locked into it. So you can actually just go and drive right over them while they can't dodge you. Which I thought was a rather novel way of countering hit the dirt.
And that Su-85 is doing a number on the P4. 3 shots in, taking it down to about half health now. And the other one's in a flanking position, just in case they back out the back way. And Siberian seems like he's in a pretty comfy position here, just a little bit more of a forward push. The only AT that Korean has is his Panzer IVs.
Recon flight has been used by KoreanArmy around the center here.
And that's going to be revealing the extent of the Su-85 problem that he faces.
Well, he's got a sort of a semi-counter now. I'm actually interested to see how this fight will go. Stug versus Su-85. I don't know. I would probably give it to the Su-85, honestly, but I don't know.
It's about, yeah, look at that, the SU-85 is just chewing through this Dutch frontal armor like it's not even...
Wow, 3 hits!
3 shots.
3 hits is all it takes, and that SU-85 kills the Stug with ease. That was a lot more one-sided than I thought it would be.
Yeah, you kind of think they're both going to have pretty good frontal armor, but obviously the SU-85's penetration is not to be trifled with. And that Panzer IV shot just completely bounced off the front of the SU-85 on the left. And Korea's going to need to do something here, whether it's flanks, whether it's AT guns, whether it's indirect fire. You know, you've got to do something.
Whoa, big squishing action here. 2 grenadiers were lost underneath the treads of that SU-85.
And you've got a nice charge for a pincer here, with one SU far to the north, one SU to the south.
Whoa.
The southern one goes down.
Oh, that was an incendiary barrage, I think, dropped on top of the P4s, but didn't manage to kill it, even though it's down to literally a sliver of health.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit careless from Siberian losing that southerly SU-85 there. It's a bit of a drawback. I'm sure he can get another one up quite quickly, and in fact he has. It's already been replaced.
Although that P4 will take longer to be replaced, Korean Army doesn't even have the fuel for it yet. He doesn't even have the manpower for it. He's in a bit of a manpower hole. He's lost 2 out of his starting 4 grenadiers, so he's down to just 2 grenadiers himself. He's still got his German sniper, and he's still got a pack, and he's still got an MG and a P4. But it is a small army, and it's getting smaller.
Yeah, and I think that pack's a really good choice. He definitely needed something to provide more of a direct counter to the what's this artillery going on in the back?
I think that's... Oh, that's... I think it might be an incendiary barrage. It is an incendiary barrage just behind the pack. Very nice. Whoa, look at the speed at which that was decrewed. That just melted that pack.
Instant. And how's Korean Army doing on the infantry front? Do you have squads available to recrew?
He's got 2 grenadier squads, but honestly, they're kind of expensive as recrew material, so it's sort of... You'd sort of be loath to recrew, but he doesn't really have a choice, especially if he wants to keep that pack alive. It's now getting targeted, and it's going to go down in one more direct hit. That pack's going to be lost forever, and there it goes.
Very nice
just
work
a
from
husk.
Siberian there, remembering to clear the pack. And it seems like Korean really has his back up against the wall here. He's going to need to really pull something out of the bag if he needs to get into this.
He feels just a little bit sort of floundering right now, sort of flapping, unsure of himself.
That incendiary barrage is only 120 munitions. That's pretty cost effective.
It's not bad, but then again, it is only anti-infantry, unlike most other forms of artillery, which is sort of mixed AI and AT or anti-vehicle at least.
But with the anti-tank power, the SU-85s that Siberian is packing right now, anti-infantry is where he really needs to make up the numbers. Probably would have been feasible. Yeah, again, I'm sure we're going to see that this weekend. It probably would have been feasible for Siberian to recapture that pack. So obviously decided he didn't need it with the power of his SU-85s.
Whoa, this P4 just takes out 2 guys with 1 shot. No questions asked. Whoa, yeah, 3 guys in 1 hit. This P4 is taking no prisoners tonight.
Those guys were very lucky to get away there. And those pioneers done a bloody good job staying alive for so long.
They have indeed. They've done a very good job.
I tell you what, I'm really liking Siberian's cautious playstyle here. He never seems to overextend. I mean, there was the one incident with the SU-85, but he was able to replace it straight away. And he's just very slowly, very conservatively moving up the map, gaining inch by inch. Taking another pack's back on the field. Now side fire on the SU-85.
Whoa, very nice.
Seems like I spoke too soon about overextending.
He did actually get the, he had the pack decrewed almost instantly as soon as he killed the SU-85 by those double sniper teams, really putting in the hurt on Korean Army. I mean, I just don't think he really had, he didn't have the combined arms to fight the combined arms that were being fielded by his opponent. Siberian just had him outplayed in this one.
Yeah, the sniper SU-85 combo is actually pretty nice. The Germans are going to need to get some heavy armour, flanking abilities if they're going to get around that lot. Obviously, the packs versus the snipers just ain't going to work.
Boom.
And the chokehold that Siberian has on the VPs is really starting to show now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Korean's going to need to work hard to hang on to that.
Whoa! Oh my god! The sniper just got owned by an SU-85. Nailed in a single hit. It just went down. And
another incendiary barrage.
Oh wow! Is this going to be all she wrote?
Yeah.
Oh boy! What a screenshot to end on.
Had enough.
I don't blame him. I would have dropped as soon as that sniper died. He probably just noticed and thought, you know what? This is over. I've got 3 units left. There's no way that I can continue this. And honestly, I really don't blame him. That was another. I mean, it wasn't. He dragged it on a little bit, but even so, it was pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, Koreans' VCO skills, I think, really were demonstrated quite well. You saw some really nice nades, some very nice flanks, you know. But I think, and not saying that I could beat Korean, but I think his knowledge of the tech perhaps let him down a little bit. A couple of teching decisions just didn't seem to be the right one at the right time. But you know, that stuff comes with experience, and I'm sure we're going to see him back as a contender in the future.
Oh, I don't doubt it. You know, you got to put it down in a lot of ways. You know, these players, they have the potential. You know, they have the potential micro and macro understanding. It's just they need that extra familiarity with the game, and we have to appreciate, of course, this game's only been out for 3 days. But even so, got to give huge props to Siberian for a great performance in both of those games. He knows what he's doing in this tournament. He knows his strategies. He knows his maps. I'm really excited. This is one guy to look out for in tomorrow's games, because it's tomorrow's games that are really going to separate the wheat from the chaff. But we're not done yet tonight. We're going to be coming up. We're going to have some games from the Helping Hands versus Monteguru or something series. It's a player that I've never heard of, but apparently it was a really good, really interesting series. It's going to be back on Pripyat Winter, so we're going to take a quick break. We're going to have Fatal back on, and we will be back in just a minute. So don't go anywhere.